Alright guys, today we have a 2008 Toyota Sienna. We're gonna replace our wheel bearing. Wheel bearing is inside this hub here. It's all the way in here, so we have to remove everything here. We're gonna compress it out. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna first remove this bolt down here, and we're gonna remove this tie rod, and then we'll be able to move this spindle around to the right, to the left. Alright, so we're gonna start with removing this cotter pin down here. And now we can take off that bolt. That's number 17. All right, this is a 17. There you go. Now we're gonna hit this spindle right here with the hammer, right here, and this tie rod should come out. There you go, just like that. All right. Now that we have this tie rod out, we are able to move this spindle around in any angle to get to all these bolts on the side and everything. All right, now we're gonna come over this way. We're gonna remove this brake caliper. This is number 14. We're gonna remove this caliper, put it to the side. We'll remove the bracket for the caliper, and we'll take out the water. Just put this caliper to the side, just like that. Remove the brake pads. Now we're gonna remove the two number 17s. That's this one here, and that one up there, right? That's for the bracket. We're gonna take off the water. What we'll do next is we'll remove. Alright, so I'm on the other side. We're gonna remove that number 10 right there. That's on the ABS sensor. Sometimes that bolt won't come out, so take it easy. Alright, this one is pretty easy, smooth to come out. Put that sensor to the side, make sure you don't damage it. Alright, now we're going to remove this axle bolt. This is the 12-point socket. Side number 30. It's number 30. There you go. That bolt is out. The axle moved back, so it's already free. What we're gonna do next is alright guys, we got this bolt out. We're gonna show you something here. Okay, we're gonna move this. This is too much free plate between the hub and the bearing and the spindle. Alright, it's moving up and down. Alright, so we're gonna change this bearing. We're gonna continue the job. Next, we're gonna remove this two bolts here. This is a spindle to the strut. All right, so we're gonna remove those two. This is number 22, so you need number 22. Sometimes you have to put a wrench in the back if it spins with it, but in this case it didn't. All right, so you can pull out those bolts. To the bottom of You gotta wiggle this spindle around a little bit and that bolt should come out. Alright guys, Guys, this bolt is gonna hit this cable. What we're gonna do is we're gonna remove that number 12 right there that's holding this ABS cable. Alright, so you got that bolt on. Now you see we have three, we got nothing blocking the view of this bolt. Alright, you got that bolt out. Usually the strut pulls back on you, that's fine. Just make sure we don't drop that caliper in the back. Alright, you can leave a screwdriver in there just like that. Alright guys, what we're gonna do next is we're gonna remove these three bolts down here. This is for the ball joint. They're number 17. We got these three out. Now we can just push the arm down a little bit and take out that ball joint. Alright, now we're gonna remove that screwdriver from the place. And the spindle is gonna come forward. You can pull out the axle. And you can just lift the ball joint out of its place. You gotta get into a straight angle. And it should come right out. Now we have the spindle. If you got the spindle here, you got a flathead screwdriver, we're gonna remove this little ring right here. So all you gotta do is you gotta yank a little, it should come off. Guys, we're about to remove this hub from the bearing. There's a lot of ways to do it. You can hit it, you can compress it out, but we usually put a socket in the center right there and we hit it with the hammer and it pushes that hub out. So that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna just tap this a few times. So watch your feet. There you go. Alright, so we got this hub out. It's pretty easy because it was damaged. Let's take a look at this hub. You see this hub is chewed up. That was a problem. It was making this cheek noise. So we're gonna replace this hub also. Alright guys, make sure you remove this. This thing came out as we was hammering. Alright, so this piece comes out. Man, you put it back, make sure you line this hole with the ABS hole. Next, we're gonna remove this retainer inside. There's a retainer inside here. You're gonna need the clip ring pliers that's gonna grab that and yank that open. Alright guys, we're gonna remove this retainer. Alright, we got this little snap-on over retainer ring remover. So all you do is you grab the teeth. Thing lifts up and we're gonna put a flathead screwdriver behind it. Oops, I'm trying to work with the camera. There you go, we have it up already and I'm gonna let him do the rest of it just little by little. Make sure it don't hit you in the face. You gotta just bring up. Oh, there he goes. Alright, the retainer just flew out. Maybe you can see that in the camera. We'll rewind it back. This is the retainer. Alright, now we can compress this. Bearing is gonna come out this way, but make sure all this area is clean so the bearing can just come out smoothly. Alright guys, we cleaned up a lot of this. We put a lot of WD-40 in there, so the bearing just will smoothly come out. Now we're gonna flip this, align it, and we're gonna compress that bearing out. We got this bearing and the spindle and the machine, the bearing compress lined. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna pump this jack next, right? Make sure you wear safety glasses. All right, guys, we got this all pushed out a little bit. We're gonna pump it out now. Go ahead. The bearing is gonna come off on the bottom here. You see how it's going down? It's gonna come off on the bottom. You can see it from the ABS ring. It's going down the ABS hole. We're gonna just let this bearing fall down, alright? Nothing to worry about. We're gonna replace it with a new one. Alright, there goes the bearing. I'm not even gonna pick it up. I'm gonna leave it there, alright? Alright, this is where the bearing came out from. We're gonna clean this up very, very nice, alright? And we're gonna put a little bit of grease, and then we're gonna install the new bearing. Alright guys, we got the hub cleaned, the spindle, I'm sorry, where the bearing is gonna go. We put a little bit of grease, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this over to the bearing compress, and we're gonna put that in. And we got the new bearing right here. Alright guys, we're ready to put this bearing in. We got this lined right on the compress machine, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a couple of adapters so this can push this bearing down, right? Should be nice and smooth process. This is to keep the bearing from being damaged. We'll put something right on top of that. Alright guys, we're gonna push this bearing in. Alright, so this bearing should go in nice and smooth. There should be no restriction. It's going. I'll tell you, you're gonna feel it. Once it's flush in the bottom, it will stop, and you will feel it that it's no longer gonna go any further. Should be ending right here. All right, that's it. We got this bearing in there. All right, guys. What we're gonna do next is we're gonna put this retainer in here. All right. So all you do is you can just push it in a little bit by hand. You can squeeze it with the tool you have. Just be careful that this is like a spring loaded. That's how that works. You don't want to hit yourself like it came out. So you can just squeeze it and then push it down with the flathead screwdriver. Just make sure you don't damage the seal. There you go, it's flush, perfect. All right, there you go. Just make sure you double check, it's perfect on all the angles. All right, guys. Next, we're gonna install this hub here. Put a little bit of grease on it. I just want to show you. See, this hub is chewed up. It was making like like ching ching noise, like something was being scraped, and is pretty much eating that hub right there, right? So put a little bit of grease like he's doing on that, and we're gonna compress this in. All right, guys, we're gonna push in the little hub, but when we push in that hub from the other end, we don't want this little race here to come out. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use a bearing, smaller size bearing, to keep this flush in place. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna put one of the bearings, the old bearings here from coming out, this race from coming out. What we're gonna do is we're gonna use this bearing and we're gonna put it right here, just like that, all right? So when we compress from the other end, that race is not gonna come out, right? This is gonna keep it pushed against each other. That's it, all right? So what we'll do is we'll put this up, all right? All right, guys, this hub is going into the bearing. We got the other bearing in the bottom. Same thing, all right? When this thing is flush, it's gonna stop. That's it, it's done. We got the bearing in. Move it. All right, we're gonna take a look at it now. All right, guys, we got the hub and the bearing is compressed in, and we're gonna put this little O-ring. This little ring, it goes on the back side. Make sure you line the little hole with the hole where the ABS sensor is gonna go through. So this is the little hole here, and there's a hole on this ring right here, and that goes right through it. And then you just tap on it, and this should go into its place. All right, softly just tap on it. Make sure it's nice and flush. You don't want to stuck anywhere because it will rub against the O-ring on the axle, the ABS ring. That's it. All right, we're gonna take this and put it on the car. All right, we're gonna put the axle through, and this ball joint bolts right through, and it's gonna hold for us. So if you move the axle out of the way so you get the ball joint screws in, the bolts. There you go, he got it in. Alright, make sure you get the axle in. Alright, again, put the screwdriver right through. That should hold everything in place. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna push this axle right through, alright? And make sure you have enough free play. This O-ring and the axle is not hitting. Push the axle in and turn the axle. Push it in. See? Turn the hub now. Alright, it looks good. Right, what we're gonna do is next we're gonna put the axle bolt. Alright, the hub came with the new bolt. We're gonna put this new bolt for the axle. I'm gonna just leave it like that. We'll tighten it a little bit later. First, let's get we're gonna get these ball joint bolts in first. So we got 2 nuts and 1 bolt. For the second one, just push it down from here and then tighten up these bolts, and it's gonna hold for you to put the third one in. There you go. And we'll tighten these. These are number 17. There you go, that's done. what we'll do next is we'll put the 2 bolts in the strut. Alright, so what we're gonna do is you're gonna push it down a little bit so it aligns. There you go. You gotta wiggle it around a little bit. Sometimes it doesn't want to go in. With the hammer a little bit. Alright, now we'll pull out that screwdriver. Once you get the first one, the second one should be nice and easy. Alright, we'll take the 2 nuts, we'll put that on the other end, and then we'll tighten these also. This is 22, so you might have to hold the back end this time. They're tight. What we'll do next is we'll put the ABS sensor in next. We're gonna put this little clip here, and then you're gonna go in the back. Make sure you clean up the ABS sensor a little bit. Sometimes it has the magnet grabs all that little particles of metal. All right, and I'm gonna go in the back and I'll show you from the back. All right, I'm in the back of the hub now, and we're gonna take this ABS sensor. We're gonna put this in, and number 10 bolt will hold it down. Alright, there it is. And we're gonna tighten that number 10. And we have the ABS sensor in. Make sure you get this little clip in, because that rumps the cable. And that's it. Alright, now we'll put this rotor in, and then we'll assemble the brakes. Put on the caliper and the number 12 over here. Don't forget to put that number 12 right there. That holds the ABS cable and the brake line together. So we're gonna get the brake bracket, the caliper bracket. We're gonna put that on next. And put the 2 number 17s on, and make sure you tighten them. And this one in the bottom that goes right here. Alright, we'll tighten those 2 now. There you go. Now we'll put the brakes in. We're gonna take these brake pads. We're gonna put the brake pads in.
Let me see.
Alright, we got the brake pads in. Now we'll put the brake caliper in. Just make sure this line is not like twisted. Just like that. Reroute the cable, the brake line. You're gonna put the top pin, the sliding pin into the caliper. You're gonna bring it down. If you need to compress the piston, you can. And we're gonna put the number 14 that we took off right here. And we're gonna tighten that. Take your number 14 and tighten that little bolt. You do not want to forget that. Alright. And don't forget the number 12 that goes right here. The brake line and the ABS line is held in by number 12 screw. I'm sorry, the bolt, number 12 bolt. Alright, so we have everything. Only thing left is the tie rod here and the axle bolt. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the tie rod, put that in, and we're gonna put this number 17 in there, and the cotter pin goes after that. That's it, and put in the cotter pin. We're almost done, and we have one last thing left, which is the bolt for the axle. There you go. All right. Alright, so we're gonna take this number 30 and we're gonna tighten this axle bolt. There you go, it's nice and tight. Now we're gonna hit that little gap right there. This is gonna be, we're gonna punch that in. This is gonna lock the axle. Make sure you punch this in. This is how you lock the axle, alright? And we're done. Alright, so we're all complete. We'll punch that in a little bit more and that's it. Make sure you get yours nice and locked in.